The core of the Course of Course. A Course in Miracles is a self-study spiritual guide that offers a pathway for spiritual awakening through healing the mind, because it is your mind that is sick. It posits that your or our minds have been distorted, and so we cannot see or perceive with any clarity at any time. Therefore we suffer. The miracle is the healing of the mind, and we need a course, just like a course of medication, to return the mind to true perception or original programming, if you prefer. The fundamental premise of A Course in Miracles is that our thoughts create our experiences, and those thoughts are influenced, interpreted, either by the false construct we call the ego, or the inner voice the Course calls the Holy Spirit. Remember, these are just words. They're pointing to something deeper than a word. Use a word that suits you. Negative thoughts and emotions such as fear, anger, and guilt lead to suffering because they are focused and actively encouraged by the ego to keep us enmeshed in inner turmoil, suffering, and pain. This is a deliberate construct to keep the mind so busy chattering away, worrying over a minor event, or what she said or what he said about the future, that in the end that you forget or you wall off the inner divinely created blueprint self, the Holy Spirit. The Holy Spirit is you. The Holy Spirit is the quiet inner voice, the true you who enjoys only true thoughts, which are always based on love, trust, and compassion. One is real and one is false. You know this. We have all had those moments of inner alignment, of full acceptance, complete trust, oneness with all that is. We've all had that. The teaching in the Course is to help you remain always in that presence. What the Course points to is a method of remaining always in that centered, loving mind energy it calls the Holy or Pure Spirit. And then slowly the ego simply dissolves because it was never real in the first place. It only existed because you fed it with your belief energies. The Course reworks and redefines many conventional Christian teaching phrases and makes the words very different but very powerful because it unwraps their inner divine essence and then helps us shift our perception back to divine perception. For example, the key word forgiveness. In conventional sense, it means to release or rise above a bad thing that someone did to you because you are nice and generous and they are not. But the Course defines it very differently. It defines forgiveness in a different way because it was you who misused, twisted, tainted the event by your perception. You saw things wrong. You were guided by your ego voice to interpret it, and the ego has a strong investment in ensuring you remain in constant suffering. You listen to the wrong voice, and therefore the incident, the person, or the expression has been tainted or twisted in your unhealed mind. You think you know what you saw. You think you know what you experienced, and you think it was this that made you upset. Everyone you know would probably agree with you that you are right and they are wrong, and that is why you're unhappy. But the unhappiness actually occurs because your false ego voice has taught you to be upset or angry over this terrible event. But the real reason you are upset has nothing to do with the event. It is because you have betrayed yourself. You have been listening to the wrong voice, and deep within you, you know this. And so you seem to have lost your true self. It's a horrible feeling. And this is why you're so darned upset, and it's understandable. But the fact is, you haven't lost yourself. You just covered it over with nonsense. Therefore, you forgive that perception. You forgive your ego interpretation. You forgive that choice to listen to a false voice. You forgive it all because you know the real reason you're upset is that you think you've lost yourself. The hidden or unconsciousness within the ego is inner, usually unconscious guilt, which becomes the mortar that holds the bricks of the ego together. Guilt keeps us so wrapped up in error and preoccupied with this and that we don't want to look at anything clearly, let alone hand them over to be shown what's really true. Guilt tells us that we don't deserve to be healed or whole or happy. It is a form of punishment, but it's not the divine, the monad, or God wills for us. Again, these are just words. Choose a word that you prefer. A key concept in the Course of Miracles is the idea of the Holy Spirit. This is the part of your mind, our mind, that has always remained aligned with love and truth. It never entered the falseness. The Holy Spirit serves as a guide, helping us individuals to make choices that lead us towards love and to release all the fear and separation. By tuning into the Holy Spirit's guidance, your inner guidance, your true you learn to view the world and yourself so differently. You gain clarity, you gain insight that leads to a more fulfilling life. You find yourself at last because you are just covered over with nonsense. Clear the nonsense and you are still there. In summary, the Course of Miracles challenges readers to take responsibility for their thoughts and their perceptions and begin to realize that they cannot perceive clearly when guided by the false self. Just like a wrong GPS map in your car will not help you if it's set for London and you're in Bangkok. The miracle unrolls when you and everyone awakens their true nature, which is one of love. One of the most important lessons is the power of thought. A Course in Miracles emphasizes that our thoughts create our experiences. Therefore, the key is to remain in alignment with the true you, or Holy Spirit. This does not mean you allow others to abuse you. It means that you perceive the situation as an expression of your long alignment with the ego self, which has now resulted in this experience. Now, as you return your alignment with your inner truth, you receive new loving guidance, which may be that you should leave this relationship or this situation. It would be a loving action, whatever you choose to do, but it will come from your true and higher self. In addition, even if this person is upset with you for leaving them, you're actually serving them when you're following your spiritual guidance, your higher guidance. But be thankful for the person that's caused you pain. They've held up a mirror for you. And so it should be blessed. This does not mean you remain constantly in pain. There is no one answer, but you look at the mirror and ask for guidance and ask to be shown the truth. Letting go of the past grievances is crucial for personal peace. Sometimes events or experiences may seem very unfair. Yet when you forgive and return to internal, loving trust, this action ensures a smoother pathway for you. Allow others to take their journey as you remain in your alignment. Finally, A Course in Miracles is a profound transformational work that, despite its name, is not a textbook. It was offered as a course to set you back on course, just like a river that's jumped its banks. You have become a billabong and cut off from the main river course. Return to the river of higher consciousness, true consciousness. The course was written as a self-guided course. It should never be studied in groups, because in most cases, the group gets bogged down in trying to intellectually understand the materials with lots of hair splitting and dummy spitting. This occurs because the ego is extremely threatened by this material and will inevitably degenerate into ego constructs. A Course in Miracles is simply and profoundly a literary masterpiece. It is written in iambic pentameter or blank verse, which was perfected first by Shakespeare, and runs in the same river system as the great poets Homer, Plato, and Dante. I've explored this golden thread in some of my books and poetry and many of my writings. When the Course is studied from the artistic vantage point, the Course drops its golden gifts of wisdom into the awakening mind. It becomes quite organic because you're no longer studying it as you would a manual for fixing your car. You're allowing it to flow through you and correct your course, which is why, of course, it's called the course. How to. You'll be guided by your true higher self, your Holy Spirit. But in essence, read the course slowly and allow its artistic meter and resonance to vibrate through your being without you, even if you don't truly know what the heck it's talking about. Each chapter is divided into segments. Just read 1 or 2 of these each day. Do not worry if you don't understand everything it says. Its resonance will infiltrate your ego-covered mind and start to reveal your inner mind, which is what you really want. There is a workbook. It has a segment to read each day. Again, allow your holy inner spirit to guide you, but follow the instructions, because there's always a good reason for these instructions. In summary, the course is often abbreviated to ACIM. It was published first in 1976 and quickly became popular with those seeking a spiritual path that was not religious in itself. It was channeled by a woman called Helen Schucman, who was a psychologist, and her colleague Bill Thetford. The book was produced through the process of inner dictation from what Schucman claimed to be the voice of Jesus. The text aims to provide a deep understanding of forgiveness, peace, and love, allowing readers to transform their perception of reality into true reality and thus find inner peace. The course is divided into 3 main sections called the text, the workbook, and the manual for teachers. The text consists of the foundational principles with a focus on understanding the concepts of love, guilt, and forgiveness. The workbook offers 365 lessons designed to be applied to life and the guiding the readers to shift their thoughts and perceptions. Finally, the manual aims at educating those who wish to teach, but not teach in a conventional way. Teach by expression, clarifying common misconceptions and guiding others in the process of sharing the knowledge acquired through the course. In the end, the course is your course. Allow it to guide you the way that feels right for you. Try not to pontificate about it too much. Instead, just live it. Be the change you want to see in the world by changing your mind and returning your mind to your truth. And then, as we each step into our profound truth, the world will change, because that's the key. And you always knew that.